All right, someone asked, does public policy really matter? Does it matter that we're involved in these things, that you make those phone calls, that you send those emails, that some of you run for office and actually hold office? Do court decisions matter? You know, we've been voting for pro-life judges forever. Does it matter? Well, that's what we're going to discuss. The Supreme Court's decision in the recent Dobbs case, which overturned Roe v. Wade, came as a result of almost 50 years of prayer, political activism, education, and ministry. Now, we knew the decision would have an impact, no question about it. But enough time has passed for researchers to process the data on the number of lives saved. It is already believed that the Texas heartbeat law saved approximately 10,000 lives in the first 5 months after it was passed. But what about the Dobbs decision? What about that effect in the other states? Joining me now to discuss this is Michael New. He is an associate scholar at the Charlotte Lozier Institute and an assistant professor of practice at the Catholic University of America. Michael, welcome back to the program.
Thanks for having me. Much appreciated.
So you've been researching and writing on this topic for a while. Tell us what you have found.
Sure. I just released a study of the Texas Heartbeat Act with the Charlotte Lozier Institute. And right after the Heartbeat Act took effect on September 1st, 2021, we saw a big drop in the number of abortions performed in Texas. Over the next 5 months, 10,000 fewer abortions took place. Now, some people just claim that women in Texas were getting abortions in other states. So what I also did was looked at birth data. And I found that some 7 months after the Heartbeat Act took effect, there were a lot of births taking place. We saw an increased number of births by about 5,000. So I think there's very powerful evidence that the Texas Heartbeat Act is saving thousands of lives.
So is it safe to say, Michael, that public policy matters on these issues?
Oh, public policy matters a great deal. I mean, there's a very good body of evidence showing that pro-life laws save lives, and even incremental things we do, like preventing state Medicaid programs from covering abortion or requiring that minor girls tell their parents before they're obtaining an abortion. All these incremental laws do have a positive impact, and it does add up.
Now, I've noticed that the media, the legacy media, it isn't quite sure how to cover this. They can't decide if it's better for their cause to inflate the number or to underestimate it.
Well, what I've typically found is they really try to downplay the efforts of pro-lifers. They're always very eager to raise skepticism about the number of lives that pro-life laws save. They're always telling us that we should spend money on contraception programs or welfare. But when you really look at it, there's just a very, very strong body of data that shows that the Texas Heartbeat Act and other kinds of pro-life laws really have a great track record of protecting women and saving unborn children.
Michael, you may already be doing this, but as we see states now, this issue of abortion going back to the states, and we're going to have some states like Texas and Louisiana, Arkansas, and others that embrace life, while you have California, New York, Maryland, and others that embrace abortion. Are there other issues surrounding it that we'll be able to see? Quality of life issues, states that embrace life have a more vibrant environment that is welcoming to life in many different respects.
Yeah, I do think that, permissive abortion laws really have kind of undermined families. I think they made it much, much easier for men to walk away from women they impregnate. I think the fact that, we have good, strong pro-life laws in place are going to strengthen families. And I think as data comes out, we're going to see that, much stronger families in places where unborn children are protected than in places where unborn children are vulnerable.
And that's going to have economic effects upon those states. Number one, it's going to have, in years to come, it's going to have an effect upon the workforce. But as you have stronger families, you have less of a need for government intervention and government programs. And I think within time, I would say within a decade, you're going to see states are going to be healthier and more prosperous and economically inviting that embrace life now. I think it's going to make a clear choice for Americans to choose what kind of state they want to live in.
Yeah, I agree that for kind of markets to flourish and for the economy to flourish, one thing we teach our students at the Catholic University of America is that you need strong families. And, pro-life laws and other kinds of, pro-life, pro-family laws strengthen families. And down the road, that's going to have very positive economic impacts.
Final question for you, Michael. As you you've been working on this issue. You look at it constantly. What do you anticipate over the next 2 years in terms of this issue of the sanctity of life at the state level?
I think we're going to make progress. I mean, it's very exciting. I think there's roughly 13 states already that have passed laws protecting, all preborn children. Other states are going to follow suit. I think South Carolina is on the verge of passing a very strong pro-life law. Other states have been a little bit slower just due to circumstantial or political reasons. But overall, I think you're going to see pro-lifers make some gains, more preborn children be protected, and abortion numbers go down.
All right, Michael New, always good to see you. Thanks so much for dropping in, and appreciate the research you're doing.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Much appreciated.